Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Uh, this session, let me quickly ask if anyone here for the first time joining in and attending it live.
Hi, I'm Antolina. I'm joining for the first time. Hello.
Okay, Antalina. So, Antalina, could you please introduce yourself as in from where you are connecting, your educational background, and if any work experience you have?
I'm joining from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm from non-IT background. Uh, I have bachelor's and master's both in the field of humanities. I did a PG diploma in GIS and remote sensing. Then I worked as a GIS professional for 3 years, but that was long back in India. In US, I don't have any working experience. And currently, I want to pursue something in IT so that I can restart my career.
Okay, great, Antalina, and welcome to Guru Schools. Um, uh, did you join recently in a couple of days ago or something?
Yeah. Yeah, just
Okay,
this week.
okay. And by any chance, did you get the opportunity to go through the past recording?
Yeah, I've gone through first two videos.
First two videos. Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing, Antalina. Once again, welcome to Guru Schools. Other than Antalina, anyone else who has joined for the first time? It's day one you are attending it live. Okay, I'll take this silence as a none of you. Okay, so you have been attending this class, so welcome to another week. We'll continue with the quick reminder of the guidelines what we have, which we agreed upon on the during week one itself, and I'm sharing that with you. That is code of honor for us, and the very first one that asks us to show up live. And being an agilist or future agilist, you need to really make sure that is happening, and that is to when you show up live so that you be on time, remain punctual, and highly committed. In case you are not habituated of this practice, consider the training itself as that training as that ground to practice it, so that you will be habituated of it by when you will get entry into the corporate of IT. And there is another law that says that how you do anything is how you do everything. If you practice this over here, it will be quite easy for you to replicate once you get placed. The second one, the second one, uh, because you chose to learn, by default makes you the student, but we don't want you to be the student. We want you to be the full stack student. It means that you do all the assignments, you do self-research wherever is required, and repeat whatever you have learned. That makes you full stack student. And third one, while you do so, all these activities which has been asked you to do, you finish what you start and you hit the success and you can take the responsibility of that. It's quite easy. But when you don't, you need to take the full responsibility, the repercussion of that, and that is the failure. So take the full responsibility of this. Why? Because when you acknowledge, embrace, you can identify that you can track back the flaws and correct them back. And when you correct them back, you will find yourself further connecting back to the success. So failure was not a failure, that became trail to the success. So kindly take the full responsibility of both the elements. If you hit the success, continue hitting it. If you don't, because you lost some activity doing, continue to correct that so that that failure can be corrected and you lead back to the success. And that can only happen when you take the full responsibility of both these elements. But to do so very well, you need to have the concrete mindset. And the very first one is inspired from the continuous improvement of the Kaizen framework under the lean management, that is another software or say project delivery method that asks you to embrace the learning mindset. More learning minded you will become, you will grow yourself as a positive minded. More positive minded you will become, you will find yourself growing more complaint free in a way that you can manage as an agilist any complex project, perform in a stringent timeline, and still you can deliver the services with lack of resources sometimes. And if you are capable of doing that, you will see yourself loaded in gratitude that can lead to the highest level of productivity. The fifth one that says that it can only start when you up your receptivity. And for that very reason, we have something, a 30 days challenge. For that, I recommend generally each one of you to participate in, although um, this is the recommendation, not the mandatory. And for that, you need to just DM me to get the complimentary link of it. This is the 40 minutes long audio that can be consumed just within 20 days while every single morning while you are walking or jogging or doing any cardio. Just plug in your ear and put it in 2x mode and finish it in just 20 minutes. It is doable. Many of my students are doing, and that's the reason I generally recommend it based on the kind of result it has produced positively as an outcome every single day. It is something amazing and unbelievable, and that's the reason I brought it here for you too. So you can on the recommendation definitely choose to join 30 days challenge. Now we are learning something technical, and for that very reason I generally recommend the another framework, that is golden quadrant of learning, that comes with the 4 step. The very first step is declaration with the anchor. What is declaration? What is the anchor? I have already talked about more in detail in the very first video and in very first day of the recording or the class. Kindly refer to that if you don't have idea about it. And then once declaration and anchor is done, then take a deep dive into deep learning. Then draw whatever you have learned after 24 hours on a piece of paper using pen. You can draw like this, okay, like this mind map. Excuse me. Using pen and paper. And then you can flaunt that while capturing the summary of it. Summary can be of less than 3 minutes or minimum of 90 seconds. Uh, So let's follow this, the 4 steps. So one is the declaration with the anchor. So what is declaration with the anchor is, I'll count 1, 2, 3 and clap. You're going to model me and then repeat after me what is selected on your screen. Can you all see the
Yes.
We are not able to hear.
Yeah, I went on mute, and that's the reason you could not hear me. Excuse me, I'll keep on going on mute for a few seconds in between. I believe so. Yeah. So, can you all see the screen? Excuse me, the selected statement on the screen. Just the very first statement when I had selected. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get started. As I asked, as I requested, 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a
I'm
quick
a
learner.
quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What
What
others can
others
learn
can
and
learn
master?
and master.
I too can do that.
I too can do that.
Can do that.
One more time with me with the new statement. 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat because I'm an awesome learner.
Because
Because
I'm
I'm an
awesome learner.
awesome learner.
Today's learning is going to be
Today's learning is going to
It's going
be
to be
super duper easy to me.
super
super
duper
easy.
easy.
Yes, it is going to be because you said so, but few of you could not do that and you found it little awkward. That time you must remember the sixth code of honor that asks you to be the giver. Giver is in giving ego away on the path of learning that makes you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. Why we need to give ego away? Because many of us, when come from the already vast experiences, the attitude goes different from learning to knowing already, and then the idea of relearning gets dropped off, and that is the time when knowing this reason will help you to continue to grow further and makes you more spiritually grounded. Means your happiness level increases and easily um take up the lessons. Happiness level increases. Happiness is today's new productivity, and that's the demand of the corporate. Okay, and while you in case you are already learning and earning, making some money, it is advised that you are here not just for the learning but also for the earning, and not just for earning but making more money. And it is advised that what you want to make more of, you must start giving away the portion of. And already if you are earning, start giving away 5% of 10% of your earning to the charity wherever you believe in case you are not earning today, can you have an intention of doing so once you start earning? So 5% or 10% of your earning to the charity. Why? Because it is said that when you give, you grow. When you receive, you may survive. And I'm sure that you are not here just for the sake of, um, you know, uh, um, learning and growing in this way, but and survive, but also to grow. But just don't give away for the sake of the growth, but also to inspire others. And while you do so, uh, remember to appreciate what you do, what others do for you, and even it does not sound that it is counting back in your growth, continue to do so, because ultimately there is a universal law that says that what you appreciate appreciates you back. So where you can give back, you can give back in the causes wherever you believe in. It could be the feeding hungry children, or donating into the old age home or orphanage, or in fact giving back into churches, mosque, temple, gurudwara, wherever you believe in, continue to do so. And this is what the givers means. And how we are going to remain connected, we are going to remain connected every Sunday for technical session that happens on 10 p.m. EST. On the next day for the technical session, that is another day at 10 p.m. EST. Tuesday, remember to attend the RRP session, that is the reference ready resume preparation, because that enhances your visibility, credibility, as well as the marketability. Wednesday, you do the assignment, be it said or unsaid, from the learning of Sunday. Thursday, again, you need to attend the RRP session. As a repeat, yes, you need to repeat it, because repeat based on repetition that strengthen your visibility, credibility, and thereby the marketability. And Friday, one more time, you do all the assignment from the learning of the Monday. And Saturday, you can choose to relax or have a breather day or do the research work or repeat. And in case you have not yet gone through the recording or prepare the any question uh, that you want to give the answer on the next working day, next technical session, that is on Sunday. So this is how we are going to remain connected every single day, where 2 days are dedicated with us. Remaining days will be DIY. Means you will be doing yourself and then connecting back with your trainer. So this is how we are going to remain connected. Is it clear, everyone? Any question? Or we are good to follow this? Say yes if you are good and understood this entirely, as a reminder as well. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Thank you. So let's continue and get started with the topic where we had left last time. And do you remember what was the topic we were going through? Who
Scrum
remembers that?
ceremonies.
Yes, you are right. So we were going through Scrum ceremonies, and we have gone through few of the ceremonies. To name them, it was sprint planning. We got to know about what is the purpose, who all will be attendees, tips and tricks about it, and thereby daily Scrum, or say daily stand-up, sprint review. And today we will get to know the another ceremony, and for that I'm going to share my screen with you. I want one person to read this for me. Okay. The next sprint ceremony, and the next sprint ceremony is what? Who can tell? What is the next sprint ceremony, guys?
Sprint
What do you?
retrospective.
Yes, sprint retrospective. I want someone to read purpose as well as attendees for me. You can unmute
Allow
yourself.
the team to inspect itself and plan for improvement in the next sprint.
Mhm.
Attendees, Scrum Master and the production team. Product owner is optional but recommended.
Yeah. So thank you so much for reading this out. So what is the purpose? Purpose is that, uh, okay, so it is written here. Uh, Plan for improvement and the next sprint. So that's the purpose. But what do you think that what happens inside uh, this meeting to fulfill this purpose? Can someone tell me how they will reach to this point that they can inspect on the next improvement? So what generally you will do that?
They discuss about what went well, what did not go well.
Exactly. So you are right. So we will discuss about these two, three things, that what went well, what did not go well. And if we understand this, what went well, what did not go well, then we can talk about its further, it's theory that what went well, what did not go well. It does not yet translate into the action item. How we will reach to the action item then?
How can we rectify our mistakes?
How we can rectify our mistakes, definitely. So what went well, what did not go well, and what we can do to rectify something did not go well. Okay, so that could be also known as the corrective action. What they can be known as, everyone?
Corrective actions.
Yes, and we will take a note of it. Okay, so there will be a person who will be taking a note of it. So with now AI is everywhere. Okay, AI is everywhere. We are having our meeting over Zoom. Now, Zoom has the ability that it can translate each and every discussion that is happening over here. If I'll be asking you to do certain activity, in fact, it can generate a complete summary of the discussion and give it to you as an action item as well. Okay, so how it can do that? A quick example I'm going to give it to you. Okay, quick example I'm going it to you, and that's the reason I have just stopped screen sharing, because I have captured something for you. So while I'm going to do so, I want each one of you to pay your attention where I want your attention to go towards. Just okay, so I want you to go ahead and focus towards the chat screen. So in the chat window, I have entered something. Okay. When you click back, you will see a circled item. Okay, that circle, just behind this circled item, there are two another icons. So just beside this circled item. What is circled item? Who
Share
can tell
screen.
me?
Share
And
screen.
beside that, what do you see? On just
Stop.
stop
Summary.
summary, and just beside stop summary,
Chat.
what is
AI
that?
companion.
AI companion. Yes, you are right. So AI companion is a tool. When you switch it on, it simply records everything. One recording which is happening right now. Okay. And this AI companion will do that. It will summarize every single thing of our discussion, and that will send out back in the email, as in what Antalina asked, what Gauri gave the answer, and what Bansi decided to, take the action item, what Sobal committed, and when Gaurav was teaching, what exactly that was the time when Pooja and Jimmy admitted that they are going to take the action upon every single such written summary will be coming. So when such written summary can happen just by enabling this. Likewise, there are the various meeting tools, okay? That could be Microsoft Teams, that could be Google Meets, that could be Zoom. As of now, I am aware of this advanced version of Zoom that can give you this self AI summary in your mailbox directly, where everyone is knowing that who is going to do what. So all the minutes of meeting gets recorded. Likewise, if you are incorporating that today's AI into those meeting, you can enable even those corrective items. Either you personally go and take those notes manually, or enable AI to do it with the less effort. With me so far? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Now when it comes to attending this, but before I go ahead further, and I was talking how we can achieve the purpose, let's understand that retrospective itself is uh, itself made of two words. And what are those?
Sprint and retrospective. Sorry,
Ret
retro and spective.
Perspective.
Yeah. So retro and spect means just to watch upon. Retro means past. So you need to watch upon the past. You need to reflect back. And when you reflect back, then only you can pull the corrective, the right action you did, or anything which went wrong, and anything went well, and how did it go well. You will continue to do so. What did not go well, how you can correct them, and you can reach to the corrective action item, and you can take a note of it. And make sure this is not going to be the blame game, but who all are, because this is quite natural when we start talking. Okay, what did not go well, then we dig down towards the reason, because this person did this differently. It is not about the person pinpointing. It's all about taking the corrective action and reaching on to those corrective actions, so that what will happen when you have corrective action to do, how it is going to help you. What do you think? You have done this meeting. After this meeting, you have the action item that, okay, these action items are there which can be corrected. So how it is going to help you? How
By
will you
You
be
reflecting
take the
on what you've done so far, you
uh-huh,
pick on maybe mistakes or what you did that you did very well, and you
uh-huh.
want to adopt that. Then also you have the opportunity to reflect on maybe your acceptance criteria and notice if there was any problem or any impediment. So you learn from that and you use it to refine your product backlog and you know do things differently to make your work smoother for the next sprint.
Yes, that's the word. So I was willing to hear. Next sprint, you can utilize those items where?
Next sprint.
Yeah, in the next
the
sprint.
next page.
So yes.
Okay.
So these what you have collected just now as an action item, that will be the to-dos in your next sprint. Okay. So now you know the purpose, how to reach to that purpose, and what is the use of that purpose. Okay, now who can attend it? Product owners are the optional, but rest the entire team has to attend, and that will be the facilitated by a Scrum Master. I want three different people to read this last column of tips and tricks for me, please.
Tips and tricks. Don't allow people to point fingers and play the blame game. Create a safe space for people to provide their honest feedback.
Yeah, the new person with the second bullet.
Use games and different questions to mix things up and reduce monotony.
Yeah, and the third one with new person.
Make sure any actionable suggestion is captured, assigned, and tracked.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yes, so now you know that AI feature, by enabling AI feature, you can collect all those action item that says the last bullet point over here, and the another one is that it is generally, as I said, that people happen to talk about what went well because of something, or what did not go well because someone did not do perform well the way it was expected. As a responsible Scrum Master and Agilist, this is your responsibility that you make sure that this does not happen. Okay. And how you can continue to lighten up the environment all the time so that your participation goes higher. Otherwise, if it is simple blame game, no one is going to participate, and you cannot hear you can't hear other than silence over here. Okay, so please make sure you are taking care of that, and be more creative, that you can utilize the some games and different questions to mix things up, because things will be monotony. It is something where you are for the celebration as well. So make sure that it is not the very serious thing. You can learn and reach here with some quick guidelines and quick games as well. Just allow me a few seconds. Yeah, coming back to the point. So you need to be more creative, and you need to be observer and facilitator as well as a future Scrum Master. Think of the different ways and uh, creative ways so that you can bring and pull more games, like how people if people are more geographically distributed, how you can bring them remotely and still play some game to learn something out of last sprint outcome or last sprint performance. So this is how this ceremony sprint retrospective happens, and these are the tips and tricks that you can utilize, and who all are the attendees and the purpose. The fifth one, although this is not considered into the sometime in ceremony, but still it is one of the ceremony to be celebrated. Why? Because this is something that defines your enthusiasm to go to the next level. And I want someone to read this box for me, the gray box at the bottom.
Fifth is not mentioned everywhere. Done sprint or cancel. Done goes in the sprint done chart to release the product increment from product backlog list.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So fifth one is generally you won't find, but the whole idea is that you are reaching here towards the retrospective, but before that you have make sure that whatever the items you have really delivered, that has been moved towards the done. Okay, so every item will moves. As in, when we are moving something on the Kanban board, Kanban I have talked about in the past. Okay, it shows you one column of the to do, then in doing, then in testing, then in done. Likewise, make sure that every action is going against done if it is really done. But those action item could be the will be popping up from where? Those could be popping up from what you call it. Those could be popping up from some user stories. or some more theoretical, more long, uh, you know, uh, yeah, uh, further functions, normal long functionalities or modules or some components. So these are the pointer of that, and it may happen that these will be referred at as a feature, or those could be the final things which you have moved towards the done. It could be action item, say as in activities or subtask could be the result of the task, and task could be the result of the features, could be the result of the user stories, user could be the result of the themes or epics, and epics could be the result of the larger requirement broken down into the smaller uh, further smaller requirement. So as it says over here that this is towards releasing the product increment from the product backlog list. Now, things which have moved to done, it means that product backlog has been reduced. Say, for example, earlier 20 items were there, and in the first sprint, you chucked down around 5 items. 5 epics are cleared. It means how many would be remaining in the product backlog list? Out of 20?
15.
15. So your focus towards 15 will go into the next sprint. So to learn more about it in the next sprint, what you will do as a Scrum process, you will again go into the planning phase. Which phase, everyone?
Planning phase.
Planning phase.
Yeah, so let's learn about it. Say, for example, if you can see at this. So in the planning phase, what happens? You have the product backlog item. What you have delivered, you know exactly. Now you need to know who all are the performer. Okay. You know that next upcoming sprint, how long sprint this will go, how successful it has been in the past, and based on that, you need to define your team's performance, that how team is performing, and also if team can accommodate with the same velocity and same capacity. And what is velocity and capacity? For that, I have my own 10 minutes of video. I will be giving it to you for a reference, so that you get to know more in detail about velocity and capacity. To just let you refer it in a summary, understand these are to know the entire team's availability and how long they may take to deliver certain item. So there you also define one word which is called as complexity of the items from the product backlog. Complexity will define that how long it will take for one person to deliver some item or complete some item when it comes to analyze, or it comes to code, or it comes to test. With me so far? Or integrate? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I might forget by tomorrow, in case I could not give you for the reference the video. You can please remind me tomorrow. Okay, I had promised something to give you for the reference point of view about the video of the velocity and capacity, that I can give it to you. Okay. So these become the input, okay, what we had delivered, who has how much strength to deliver, and what is the highest prioritized next item that we can pull from the list of the product backlog, so that we can discuss in which meeting, everyone, which ceremony?
Planning.
Sprint planning.
Sprint planning.
In the sprint planning meeting. Yes, absolutely right. And in this sprint planning meeting, when we have the prioritized list now to deliver next, that will become what?
Sprint goal.
Sprint goal.
Sprint goal.
Sprint's goal. Yeah, that will become the sprint goal. But while they are becoming the sprint goal, before that, we are discussing this. What is this?
Sprint planning.
Yeah. And what we are discussing in this sprint planning meeting?
What we will
What
do.
we will
What
do.
we will deliver.
What we will deliver, how we will deliver, and who will be involved in delivering what. With me? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And when we have such clarity to that sprint goal, we can call it this. what we can call it?
Sprint
Sprint
backlog.
backlog.
Sprint backlog ready to execute further. Okay, so when we are talking about sprint backlog, it means that now in sprint backlog, when we are defining everything, assigning everything for every individual, understand everything. In fact, backlog items are epics. Epics further broken down into the features or subtasks or the task or the activities or the user stories before that. In the ticket management system, everything will be referred and called as ticket. What they are called as?
Tickets.
Tickets. And you will happen to hear these words more: tickets, candidate, or the guys. Okay, and in fact, on the Kanban board, you will see more of the sticky notes. Okay, uh, okay. Someone has some question. Go ahead, in case you have any question.
Are the product backlogs tickets?
Yeah, everything is ticket. Everything will be ticket. Because what happens? Product backlogs are also listed. Say, for example, you have multiple modules of banking, right?
Yes.
So those multiple modules will, say, for example, when we are taking an example of Jira or Azure DevOps. Okay. All
Mhm.
right. So
Yes.
in that also I'll be mentioning about these module names inside Jira, and that will be, or Azure DevOps, that will be again referred as ticket only. Okay. So
Okay.
everything inside it in the industry, you will get to hear from the product owners or the seniors that what happened with those ticket, whether it has been further expanded, further it has taken the shape of the action item. Excuse me. Okay, I was excuse me, everyone. So I was talking about that seniors would be talking about that, what happened with that uh, user stories or epic or those component, further those are developed in the action item or not. And if I'll talk about it, it may look like something this.
Can I
These are,
quickly ask a question, please?
let me answer this first. Okay. So those may appear like this. Can you see these product backlogs are in ticket form?
Yes.
Yeah, smaller tickets. Yeah. So before I continue to explain it further, let me invite for another question. Yeah, go ahead with another
Okay,
question, please.
from the last slide where it's mentioned that the fifth is not mentioned everywhere, then it talked
Yeah.
about cancel. So what happened? What is being cancelled?
Okay.
And what happens
Sometimes,
to anything that is cancelled?
yeah. So sometimes what happens, we happen to see that during sprint retrospective meeting, product owner also talk about the roadmap. What they talk about?
Roadmap.
Further, roadmap. In the roadmap, upcoming features are known, and during those meetings, customer has the liberty to talk about something what they can reprioritize them. Okay, and they
Okay.
can say that this item we may not immediately require. So in the upcoming sprint, you can be free to not to consider it, and also let us come back when to deliver it. For now, just cancel it and not include into the upcoming sprint, even though we had talked about it that it will be coming in the third sprint last time. Okay, so what the Scrum Master will do, they can mark those tickets as deferred. What they can mark it as?
Default.
Deferred until the next discussion or until next, consideration or next date confirmation. Okay, and those sprint or if say for example, now in one sprint, we here I am going to talk about complexity. Okay, uh, so say for example, every module are given some complexity. Complexity are the Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series are generally summation of two previous number. So how it will grow? It will grow like 0, 1, and then again 1, and then again 2, then again 3, then again 5, then again 8, and so on. Are you seeing that it is the summation of the previous two numbers? Yeah?
Yes.
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 So when the more it is growing, it is talking about how big the module is and how uh, you know how much time it may require based on the complexity. Now, say for example, one sprint is 1 week long. Okay. And
Yes.
in 1 week long sprint, what we generally do, each person work for the 40 hours. And this 40 hours, every person work on one module. Okay. So say for example, I have three testers and they uh, graduate those three tester, three modules. Okay. So, and three BS, three modules, or two BS, three modules, or two coders, three modules. This is how in 1 week they are achieving regularly. And each module is 40 hours it is taking from everyone uh, in cumulative way. And this 120 hours, we will consider 120 hours because three resources are there. Just we are calculating this and understand that the entire complexity is 120 when we have taken the different modules. And when we decide that we have customer has given us something to cancel multiple items, and those are of 120 complexity points and they are almost 120 hours, it means that those are 1 week of task itself, and those will be counted as the sprint. The entire sprint can be the cancelled. And sometime it may happen, few are the modules which customer does not immediately want. Say for example, customer wanted app development as a one feature to happen in the one sprint, and he says that, okay, right now we are not focusing, cancel that. That itself could be the one entire sprint, and they decide to cancel or defer it for the future. With me so far, Olu?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is how we decide to progress and we call it. Okay. That
I
happens
just have
immediate.
one more question. Just
Yeah.
sequence to
But
that.
did you
So
digest what I said just now?
yes, I got all that now. So now if they mark it as default or cancelled and it's already in the sprint, will it affect the sprint? And if it does, as in, will you be able to complete that sprint? If not, what happens? Is it going to affect the sprint? Is it going to go back to product backlog, or how will you move it so that you can complete a sprint and then move on to the next sprint?
Wait. Let you understand first. Means what exactly you asking? Let's go one by one. What is first question you said?
So if
Will
it
this?
is,
Yeah.
okay, so the one that has not been done has been marked as default or has been totally cancelled. So where is it going to move to? You already have a sprint that you are working on. So, but you have to complete the sprint. Our sprint is time boxed, and you already have a deadline for the current sprint, and then one item is cancelled or marked as default.
Okay,
And
are you understanding? Are you understanding that any sprint will be cancelled in between in ongoing activity under the ongoing actions which are already anything is cancelling in between? You mean to say?
yes, if anything, like if one item is cancelled out of the whole sprint, or if the whole sprint is cancelled, so what happened to the sprint
Yeah.
backlog?
Wait. Let's go one by one.
Okay, sorry.
When we are talking about sprint cancellation, it means that the entire sprint is cancelling. Does
Yeah.
it mean that sprint is canceling in between? No, it is not canceling in between.
Okay.
Understand sprint as a train. Train is as in multiple sprints. Okay.
Okay.
You have the
Okay.
clarity. We have the multiple bogies, multiple birds, or multiple trains coming in front of us. 1, 2, 3 till 10. Say,
Yeah.
for example, in between, I have extracted number 6.
Yeah.
Then after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 is still there. We will
Yeah.
move to sane.
Okay.
7. Does it mean that it has impacted everything, it has disturbed everything? No, everything will get changed back again. Only the extracted item number 6 will go back towards the end. Did you get it?
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
will go back to product backlog.
It will go back to the product backlog.
Okay, that
because
is
we
what I
have
wanted to know. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
because we never started working upon it, because we
Okay.
got the already idea from the customer that we need to defer it when we are talking about the sprint cancellation.
Okay.
Okay, when we get to know about it during the more or less in the sprint retrospective, towards the end of the sprint retrospective. All right, can I
Yeah.
go further? Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So let's move back over here towards this item. So here you have the clarity. Everyone has the clarity about the sprint planning. What happens? We come out with the sprint goal as the sprint backlog item. And here you see the product backlog. And when we have the sprint backlog, now how it will go? We will get inside the planning phase. We start planning about those, what exactly we needed to plan that. And those planning are the result of the, those planning results into the sprint backlog. Now you need to start executing and you start working daily in the implementation. Coders are coding, testers are testing, they are doing test activity. Integrators are architects are creating the interfaces, analysts are preparing the analysis and design work, and one fine day you realize, oh, the work which we started has been done now. So how it done because to complete to bringing everything towards the done, you were doing daily scrum, you were discussing daily everything with each other, as in you were talking about last state, next state, and bottleneck. And by doing so, one fine day you realize that things are completed, marked as the done, done, done. But it can be only marked and done as done when you demonstrated this under sprint review meeting to the client. To whom, everyone?
To the client.
Client.
To the client. You demonstrated to the client. Client says, hey, go ahead and give it to me. And what you did, the completed features are now marked as done and delivered to the client. And you see, these are the symbols of the marking it done, done, done. And once it is shipped to the client, then you hold this meeting, to which we call it as what? What you can read it?
Perspective.
Retrospective meeting, only after you have shipped it. Okay, so now we have included this in the Scrum framework. Now let's understand more detail towards when it comes to this. What is sprint in Scrum? So these are very easy things, but let me quickly check if Prerna can take it. Prerna, if you are there, would you like to take it? Let me wait to hear back from Prerna. Prerna, do you want to take it if you are here? Okay. So I want 4 different people to read this 4 bullets for me, please. If you have not yet contributed, go ahead and read it.
Time boxed iteration of a development cycle.
Broken project into small and consistent time interval.
As short as few days and as long as 4 weeks.
Can call a sprint goal a project in itself due to start and finish record it gives.
Yeah, thank you so much. So by now you understood by reading this that when we are talking about sprint, the normal meaning is that it is a time duration. When we are talking about time duration, it means it will always start in time, and it will always finish in time. Okay, it means that there are the smaller modules you will be performing in this sprint, and those set of modules can be considered itself as a project. Okay, say for example, banking project coming with the banking transaction, fund transfer, balance inquiry. These all itself can be the project in itself. Okay, and these sprints are generally smaller. Okay, smaller means it can be of 1 day, and it can be of the 4 weeks as well. If we are talking about the smaller team, smaller modules, smaller projects, it means that it can be decided with the customer whether they want daily delivery, or internally you can decide if it has to be the daily deployment or something, or you can go ahead with the 1 week, or you can go with the 2 weeks, or maximum you can go for the 4 weeks. So this is 2 weeks is the moderate time. When we are talking about 2 weeks, it means that 14 or 15 days. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no? Yeah, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we are talking about sprint, it means that it will have the start date and the finish date. Yeah, good. So why these are the fixed in the length? Okay, why these are always time boxed? Okay, let's understand that, and why the iteration. So I want three different people one more time to read these three bullet point if you have not read so far. Please go ahead.
To balance between the need to release rapidly,
The next person.
Allowing enough time to complete the useful amount of work in each sprint.
Once an appropriate length is found, it typically stays the same.
Yeah. So once we decided, okay, this is going to be for the 4 weeks or 2 weeks, it will remain the same. So you don't have further, stress to talk about, okay, what will be the next week, or in the next sprint, how long it will go. So, and you will have also enough of the time to perform it and execute it and deliver it well. Okay. And almost the same set of the resources will be working in every sprint, and it will bring the rapid increment, or say rapid delivery. Okay, or rapid releases after certain interval of time. So if you'll see that in every sprint you have the start date and end date, and the same length of the time will be there, to which we will call it as time box. What we will call it as?
Time box.
Time box, yes. So that will be applicable for each and every sprint, and these activity will always happen. Okay, these activities will always happen. Every sprint will undergo the planning phase, implementation phase, daily scrum, then review, and then retrospective, because it is happening with every sprint, and that's the reason we are calling it as the iteration. What we are calling it as, everyone?
Iteration.
Iteration.
Iteration. And sometimes it is also called as release cycles. What it is called as, everyone?
Release
Release
cycle.
Release
cycles.
cycles.
Yeah. So if it is called as release cycle, okay. So now what we need to understand, uh, because you have understood now, I want you to know about this thing. Okay. And that calls it as, yeah, agile life cycle. You can take a screenshot of it. Generally, sometime it may be asked. The very first phase is called as concept. In agile life cycle, first it is called as conceptualization. Then you start it, where it is called as inception, when you will start doing resourcing about it. And then you undergo the iteration phase, where you continue to design it, and then design it or test it, and then you release it, which is called as deployment. Then every sprint will undergo maintenance phase, and after maintenance it will be retiring, reinventing, or relaunching with the new project or new modules. So this is what is the agile life cycle. When we have understood in terms of life cycle, let's start with the very first ceremony, talking about very first ceremony in detail. And what is that very first ceremony? That is, what is the very first ceremony, everyone?
Sprint ceremony.
Concepts like
Concept.
scoping.
Okay.
Okay, can you one more time repeat what you said?
Concept
Concept.
scoping.
Conceptualization.
Okay, so
Concept.
these are the life cycle. These are the phases. I'm talking about when we are talking about ceremonies in sprint. Okay, what will be the very first ceremony?
In planning.
Sprint planning. So let's start talking about sprint planning more in detail, starting with the definition. Now, more theory you will get to know about. Okay. Let me quickly check if Prerna can take it. Prerna, are you back by any chance? Are you there? Looks like Prerna is not there. Still not. She has not joined on. Okay. Prerna, let me know in case you are hearing me. Okay. Let me drop it. Drop a message to her so that. All right. So I want someone to read the first paragraph for me.
Sprint
Sprint
planning
planning
is an
is an
event
event
in
in the
the
Scrum
Scrum
framework.
framework where the team determines the product backlog items they will work on during the sprint and discuss their initial plan for completing those product backlogs.
Yeah. So now you are clear that this is also an event, and this is the essential part of this Scrum framework. And here we start working from the product backlog item. Okay. And in the sprint planning meeting, those highest weighted and most prioritized item will be picked up in this meeting, in the sprint planning meeting, to start discussing about it. Okay. So I want now second person can read this second bullet point for me, please.
Teams may find it helpful to establish a sprint goal and use that as the basis by which they determine which product backlog items they work on during that sprint.
Fine. Okay. Yeah. So whole idea is that with the sprint planning, you end up having the sprint goal. Okay. And means whatever the item you decide to complete it, that will turn towards the sprint goal, and it will be called as sprint backlog item as well at the end, and the entire team will be involved in completing it. I want someone to read the third bullet point over here.
The purpose of sprint planning is to define what can be delivered in the sprint and how that work will be achieved. Sprint planning is done in collaboration with the whole Scrum team. The what? The product owner describes the objective or goal of the sprint and what backlog items contribute to that goal.
Yeah. So the whole idea is that in sprint planning meeting, we get to know about various things, and in that, what exactly we are delivering. And for that, we have the question to ask that is about the what exactly we are going to do, and that what will define the goal. And whose responsibility initially first is that they will talk about it in front of the entire sprint team. Who will talk about this, the what?
Product owner.
Yes, you are right. As product owner who will be talking about that, and he will be clarifying the purpose of it. And this is how we get to know. Okay. Now, who is those individual in this in sprint planning meeting will be involved? Although you know about it, let me talk about it more in detail. So let me one more time ask Prerna if she is there. Prerna, are you there by any chance? Can you take this slide? Okay, I don't see Prerna here. Okay, not a problem. I want 4 different people to read these 4 bullet points one by one. Go ahead, unmute yourself and start reading.
Sprint planning typically involves the entire team.
A
The
product
product owner identifies the
identify
candidate product backlog items and their relative priorities, as well as purposes a sprint goal.
the team members determine how many of the product backlog items they forecast they will be able to complete and determine how they will deliver those product backlog items.
Yeah, and the last one.
A
A
Scrum
Scrum
Master or coach typically facilitates sprint planning in order to ensure that the discussion is effective and that there is agreement to the sprint goal and that the appropriate product backlog items are included in the sprint backlog.
Yes, thank you so much for reading this out. Now you see here in this, entire team is involved. The product owner, he
Hey Gaurav,
no,
let me know when I can continue. I'm
yeah, I
sorry, I was
called
away.
your name. I
Sorry,
called
I
your
was away
name.
for some time. I was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was calling you from 8:15, so I thought that you are not there, so I continued. So let me finish
No, no,
this,
no.
then I'll.
I was not around. I was in another room with my baby.
Okay, okay,
So I
no
thought I
problem.
just looked at the time. Yeah.
So
Should I
I'll
continue from
call.
here?
Okay, so let me finish this again one more time. I'll be calling your name. That's the reason I'm
Oh,
just telling you.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, guys, product owner, you know that he has to or she has to come back with all the prioritized item and define the sprint goal, knowing who all are the involved, and the team, they will be giving the confirmation whether they can deliver it. Okay, and if they have any question, they may definitely then and there they can ask. Okay, and thereby the sprint backlog is generating up further. Okay, and scrum master's role will be that to coach the entire team, facilitate it entirely, and reach to the agreement that it has been well understood, it can be properly further designed, reviewed, as well as analyzed further. Okay, so this is how the entire team work in cadence or in sync. Okay, is it clear? Any question around it, guys? Any question? Okay. I'll take this silence as a no question. Let me go further and let me ask further. Prerna, do you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so now we are learning quite interesting and quite important topic like sprint planning. There are minute details. See, you might have this question like why these things are taught in such detail, where it is taking place, how it is taking place. But trust me, these things are very important from agile and sprint planning point of view. So, where does sprint planning takes place? So I request 2 people to read out the 2 points mentioned on the screen, please.
A good location for sprint planning is the team room, so that you have
Mm-hmm.
access to all the information about your product backlog and you can reference and update any information radiators you may use.
Mm-hmm. Next point, please.
If your team is distributed, sprint planning represents a good opportunity to gather everyone together so that your planning discussion can be more effective and to reinforce the person to person connections of the team.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading it out. So yes, where does the sprint planning takes place? So first of all, you would require a decent amount of conference room or any room that would be sufficient for all the team members or people involved in the sprint planning meeting. Okay. So see, you may find this is very give me a second. You may find that, oh, what's a big deal, in such an organizations you might have so many conference rooms and stuff like that, but trust me, from my personal experience, even in bigger organizations, compared to the teams, compared to the workforce, The conference rooms are quite limited, especially the bigger ones, and there are always some of the other meetings going on. So first and foremost is you have to kind of book and maintain the conference, book the conference room in advance for your meeting, where all your team members can come, and it's sufficient for them. And also all the information that you have regarding your product backlog, that should be available, that should be uh, I would say that you should have handy while you're gonna have that discussion amongst the team. Okay, so you should have the access. So it's like, if you're carrying your laptop, ensure that that's in proper network. All your files or all your presentation is in the same network area. You can access them. So ensure you do all the testing before the meeting. Next point is in case your team is geographically distributed, like when we work with MNCs, so there are team members who sit in different geographical areas, like in US, UK, Asia, Australia, anywhere and everywhere. So that time physically attending meeting is definitely not possible every time. So what we do, we share the Zoom or or Skype or link or Teams invitation, and that particular Zoom room is Zoom ID is shared, and that that all the team members have to connect, or or dial into that. And then that time the people or the team members who are available locally, they can come in a conference room, but other team members at different locations, they can definitely dial over Zoom. So see, this is kind of the flexibility that we have been actually utilizing on a quite a large basis since Corona. Sorry, because during that time we were not physically present in the offices, but then all the meetings were going on, everything was carried on. So yes, first is, if the team is physically present at same location, then ensure that we have a good conference room with all the required data available with us. In case if that's not the case, people are or team members are at different locations, then we can definitely take care of the meeting via virtual meetings. Okay, any doubts in this? I think it's quite easy and practical to understand. Yeah, anybody any doubt in this?
No.
No.
Should I consider the silence as no? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to next point, please. Okay, now the question is, when does the sprint planning takes place? Like, at exactly which interval? What is the exact position of the sprint planning meeting during the entire agile process? Okay, so I'll request three different people who have not read till now, different from the earlier ones who read the earlier PPT. Please come forward and read these points. Yeah.
Sprint planning occurs on the first day of a new sprint.
The
Thank you.
event should occur after the sprint review and a retrospective from the previous sprint, so that any output from those discussions can be considered when planning for the new sprint. It does not have to occur immediately after those other two events. You will find it is best to place a higher priority on scheduling sprint planning when the entire team is available.
Absolutely right. Thank you. Next point.
You may find that it's best to have a standing consistent time for sprint planning so that your team can keep that time slot clear from other engagements.
Yes. So, you must have heard these are very practical tips and tricks. Like, first of all, it's the first event of it's the first event of every new sprint. So as of now, I understand, I guess you all know what is a sprint. Sprint is a duration of your agile implementations. It can be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on the duration your team has selected. So the first event or the first thing that you can do is the sprint planning meeting. Now we know when it is. So that can be with or after, that can be definitely after the sprint review and retrospective of the earlier sprint. That means once you finish the earlier sprint, you know the takeaways, you know the understandings, learnings of that sprint. So take an advantage of all that, what we have learned and what we have gathered, where we can, as a team, where we can do better or where we can improve. So all that, consider that together, and we can actually have that as an input in the sprint planning meeting. So it is basically after your earlier sprint ends and at the start of your new sprint. That's the exact where say position or where this meeting is placed. Okay. Now what basically happens? So whatever we are planning in the upcoming sprint, those all discussion will definitely be a part of it. And it's also mentioned that we should have a consistent pattern of having these meetings. So sorry. So basically, see, it's like, for example, for simplicity or understanding sake, if we have a sprint of 1 month, like 4 weeks, then every start of the week, or every start of the new month, the first day can be considered as a sprint planning meeting for understanding purpose, right? So it's like we always start with this meeting first, and then we go ahead into the sprint, and start working on that. Yeah. So this is basically, these are the facts mentioned, that okay, this is how it should be done. So I hope there are no doubts in this. Yeah. Next point, please. Next screen, please, Gaurav. Yes. Now this is really, really important, and this is really interesting. So these are the checklist of what we should do, and who should do what from everybody's angle. Like, from Scrum Master, what are the things that he need to ensure that he does, or he gets done, from product owner point of view, and from even the team point of view. Okay. So now let us start with the Scrum Master point of view. What are the sprint planning checklist? Yeah. Yeah. Can different people again read these 5 points mentioned here?
Video conference, screen share, and/or Polycon access information setup and shared.
Schedule meeting space.
Prepare and publish agenda.
Next.
Check
calendar.
calendars on company holidays, training, events, travel, and employee time off.
Yes, next. Guys, just keep going, don't wait for anybody. Yeah. Last point.
For tactile artifacts, replenish supplies of markers, post-its, 3x5 cards, pens, pins, etc.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I actually see similar candidates speaking again and again. So I'll really request others who are on continuous mute to unmute, and we would love to hear from you, because it's really important that we should know that you're there and you're active in this session. Okay. So this is for all who have not spoken till now. So see, guys, this is like a checklist, or what are the important points to be, like, ensure that you do from every team member's point of view. So starting with Scrum Master. So yes, as we mentioned, that meeting has to take place in a conference room. So it's like, if we have people from another location,
Then we need to ensure that okay, the video in that conference room is working, because it will be gonna be a video conferencing with other team members. There is like all the I would say projectors and everything, mics and speakers. Those are properly set up, and it's and even the meeting details are shared along with everyone. Second is scheduled meeting space. So definitely the meeting location, that is a particular conference room, has to be scheduled or booked in advance. Next is prepare and publish agenda. Now this is really really critical. So for every meeting, even in our day-to-day life, day-to-day work day, we check okay, what is the agenda of this meeting, because it's not that for every meeting we have to just go and attend. Some meetings we have to give inputs, or we have to ask questions. That is the right area to check for doubts. So it's always good to see what is the agenda means what are the contents, or why are we meeting, or why are we having this meeting. So that's agenda for sure. Give me a second. So that is very critical for any meeting, that what is the agenda of the meeting. Okay. And last but not the least, we have to okay, second last point, we have to check, this is also quite important, guys. So imagine this last week. Okay, last week was a short week for Indians. Like, we had Holi on Monday, and it was Good Friday, and so it was like a short week, only 3 days working. And then even today being 1st April, it's kind of holiday in UK. It's a holiday in UK. So, if we have to have meetings internationally with different team members, different clients, we have to know okay, what are the holiday calendars, when are the major holidays, when are the people mostly occupied. Like for example, December is kind of globally a little light month because people are on holidays, people go out, they take their annual leaves and things like that. They spend time with their family. So that's a light month. And then last is, yes, definitely when you are in a room, so ensure that all the markers or whatever supplies that you need for your presentation and meeting. Give me a second. So all the supplies are readily available with you, and because you have to carry on the conversations, jot down the points, ensure that your ideas are captured on whiteboard. So all these things are kind of Scrum Master's duties, if I have to call it. He has to ensure that he does everything, starting from checking and organizing the conference room, ensuring the conference room is perfectly equipped with required things, and then even the sending invite and ensuring everybody attends the meeting. Now let us go to product owner. What are his checklist, and what are his to do things to ensure during the meeting. Guys, I'll request people who are on constant mute, please unmute and speak up. The more you get active during the session, it will be easier for you to understand, to ask, and and when you actually go through the points, you might get some doubts. Those will be easier for yourself to resolve if you ask them. Yeah. So I'll request different people to read out the points for product owner, please.
Product owner, ensure backlog item candidates are ready according to the team's definition or ready if a definition of ready exists for the team.
Make
Make
sure the
sure the
skills.
skills and capabilities of team members are known and are generally aligned with the needs of the backlog item candidates for the sprint.
Absolutely right. So I'll actually start with the second point. So it's essential when you're working on any project or any particular application. So what type of skills your team member has, what are they good at? Do we have the required skill set available? Are the people equipped? Like if no, then are they supposed to get trained? Are they supposed to learn these new technologies or new skills? So everything all these things is very essential from product owner point of view to know that okay, whatever work that is going to get assigned or going to get executed, that all skills, those all skills are available with my team and they are well equipped to implement. Okay, coming to the first point, yeah. So see, product owners whole and soul and most important part is maintaining product backlog. Okay, so I suppose you know product backlog, but if no, let me give you a one liner. All the work items, all the essential work items are maintained in a prioritized format. Okay, now this is important. Prioritized format means the highest priority work item at the top, the lowest at the below, so that that backlog is maintained by product owner, and his sole, or I would say most important part or duty is to ensure that uh, work is getting completed by that in that order, and according to the team's definition of done. That means if a team is claiming or ensuring that something is completed, that means there is nothing left. There are no ifs and buts. Whatever requirement or product backlog was mentioned, it is completed. Yeah. So that is the essential part. So basically, product owners lookout is to ensure that whatever has been mentioned in the product backlog, that we need to discuss, and to complete that, we should have the right amount of skill set, a right amount of people in the team. Yeah. Any doubts in this, guys? I mean, yeah, from product owner point of view, it's quite important. So yeah, please let me. Yes, and the next point, please. If we don't have any doubts, let's move to next point. Yeah, from team members, development teams angle.
Update the team's definition of done as needed and make sure it is easy to reference during the meeting.
Okay. So now I just explained definition of done, or I just mentioned that. Anybody, can they explain this point on their own? I'll just request whatever you feel is the right understanding. Yeah, at least 2, 3 people, just please go ahead. I want to know what you feel or what you have understood till now. Please. Anyone, feel free. See, it's not being right or wrong. I just want to understand. Imagine yourself as a development team, and what do you feel? What should be my input, or what should be my aim for this meeting point of?
The algorithms.
Go ahead.
Cross trainers, that cross.
When the team says done, that means they have already mm, worked on the product and it's finished.
The definition of done, you mean the functionality is delivered, what is it supposed to deliver?
Prerna, are you there?
Hello. Yeah, sorry. I think my Zoom was hanged. I don't know. The last thing I heard from someone saying, definition of done means we have to do what is supposed to be done. Did I miss after that? Sorry. There was a delay.
No,
I just reconnected my Wi-Fi.
that's it. We are ready.
Yeah. So, yeah. Even prior to that, you all were on the point. Definitely. I'm quite glad that you do have a right understanding of definition of done. So definitely whatever you have said till now, that is absolutely right. Definition of done means that what we have mentioned that we have completed or we will be completing, that needs to be finished, and there should not be any pending or anything that is not completely done. So that is actually, you have to follow plain English understanding, okay, for definition of that. Yeah, so I think we are good from this point of view. And guys, you know what? You might feel this is little theoretical, or why we are getting into so much detail with these kind of concepts. But trust me, it is very important. It is very essential to know these things. So when in real life you enter into meetings, or you meet with people, or you discuss things, you have clarity about what they are speaking and what is going on. Okay. Yeah. Gaurav, can we go to next slide, please? Okay, now this is, to be very honest, please take a picture of this. I know you might find, oh, what is this? It's like, it looks like an animation, okay, this is so, uh, at times it looks very funny, but trust me, these images, these pictures are like the best notes that you can have before going to any interview, any major discussion. Just have a look at them. I personally love these images because when you study theory, or when you try to remember theory, there is a scenario, there are chances that you might forget some points. But when you look at pictures, that flow is available to you. Now, I'll just tell you, first of all, see, there are two gentlemen shown, as one is a product owner, one is a scrum master, and they are giving input, or maybe that's the first point, where a product owner is standing with the in product backlog. Then we check what is the capacity and velocity of the team. For this, right now, I don't want to elaborate more. We can discuss further, but there is a very, very nicely explained video by Gaurav for capacity and velocity. I'll request him to share this on our WhatsApp group. I would really want you to go ahead and look at that and understand that, so you will know what is the overall capacity, or how the team's contribution is measured via capacity and velocity. So that is done. Third is current product status. So what is the current project status, where the project is standing, what is actually happening in the project. And then in case if there are any constraints, please speak up. Like you might say, we need to have that software, or we need to have the this respective servers for this particular project, or we want a resource with this skill set we currently do not have, or we would really require additional timelines. So it can be anything and everything that you feel. So that can be mentioned as a constraint, and that that as a team we all can work towards resolving it. Now, this was all input part, like what goes in the sprint. Now, sprint planning meeting, sorry. And then the second is sprint planning. So basically, what has to be done? So what has to be done is product backlog needs to be taken care of. Sprint goal needs to be, achieved. So all that, what also is discussed. And then ultimately when, sorry, how means who will do what. So development team, being the development team, definitely they'll take care of all the development work. They'll ensure whatever is mentioned that will happen. And then Scrum Master definitely will be like a servant leader. He will ensure that team is working correctly. In case of any direction, any guidance they need, he'll be able to give that, or he should give that. And whereas a product owner, he has different, a variety of work, like ensuring other stakeholders are aware of project status, what is happening in the project, discussions with the clients, maintaining product backlog. So all these things ultimately results in two things. That is, one is sprint goal. That is what we want to achieve in the particular sprint. What is our what should be our output of that sprint? That is the sprint goal. And the next is sprint backlog. So that means whatever requirements, functionalities, work items we completed in the sprint and what are pending in that sprint. So that sprint backlog will ultimately go to product backlog. So always imagine your product backlog is like your entire year's syllabus. Like, if you're any particular school or any particular standard, so your entire year's syllabus is your product backlog, and your sprint backlog can be your each, I would say, sorry, I would say each unit test or each SEM's, syllabus, that would be a sprint backlog. So you take little chunks of work items from your product backlog and you ensure you finish them, you complete them, and you make them into your sprint goal. So this is a very elaborative and very easy to understand, easy to explain diagram. I will request you to take a picture of this in your phone so you can refer it while you're making notes. If you can draw this in your notebook as your notes, that will be great. If no, take a picture and take a printout for your understanding. So I think we are kind of over 2 minutes, but I'll just check with you. Do you have any doubts in this entire process? Yes, no.
No.
No? Anybody
Question.
else?
No.
I have a
Oh,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
The definition of done, you are speaking about how the functionality, that is, my understanding was the functionality delivered, how it should be delivered. That is the definition of done, right? So the definition of done is it.
Let me pause you that. No, it is not about how. It is about it being complete.
Okay.
It's like, for example, if you give a project to a toddler, if you give a project to a small kid and you ask them, or a simple forget project, if you give them a plate full of food, okay, and you ask them finish it, that the last question you ask when they come to you, that okay, so are you done? So it's as simple as finishing any task in your hand. So when we say definition of done, means when we deliver something to the client and we say it's completely done, that means there should not be anything left from completing in that particular task. Yeah, is it clear now?
Okay, that definition, is it being decided both by the client as well as the
Yes.
Scrum team?
Yes, to be very honest, definitely more by client. See, we as a team, we can propose things. Like, imagine if there is some requirement that is very big and you know that you are not able to, or as a team, we will not be able to complete that in this sprint, then we can definitely check with the client stating that this is, too huge or too big to implement in particular sprint. And then we can have some of the major part of it and deliver it. Okay. But apart from that, it's mostly client driven. Definitely feasibility check is done by the team, but we prioritize and we deliver as per the client's requirement. Always remember this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Yes, all good, guys. Okay,
Yes.
there are, yeah, thank you. Thank you for your response.
Yes.
Thank you for asking the question. Yeah, Gaurav, I think we are past 4 minutes. Over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prerna, and thank you everyone for showing up well in time. Before we go ahead towards the attendance, let me quickly ask the first timer. Antelina, this is your day one. What do you feel like saying? I know that you have come after going through the past recording, I think day 1 or 2. So, what do you feel like saying? Were you able to connect, relate, and understand whatever has been discussed today?
Yeah, but I have to go on. I have to watch the remaining 3 videos. All
Okay.
concepts are not totally clear, but I think.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for your honest opinion. I believe it was only you and Talina who had who is attending here live for the first time. It's your day one. Rest all had been already attending it. So with this note, let me take you all towards how do we take attendance. I'll be asking a question, and before I go to the question, let me show you something. This is very, very important. I was talking about AI, and I believe that will be great if you get to know about it, that how AI collects the summary. So I was trying to look for some email which I have received via email from the Zoom, and that defines the summary of it. So I'm just so by looking at it, you will have the idea that how does it come. So I'm just trying to collect it from our batch only, that how does it give to us. Say for example, I'll try again on this. Okay. Okay, it generally does not. So one thing which I am going to do is that I will pause the screen share for that, and then I'll show you. So I'll see from. Okay. So one thing which is related, quick recap, you have seen that it has generated. Okay. It is talking about some next step, but not generated. Okay. Then project management, requirement gathering strategy. These all summary it is collecting through AI. Okay. And how it has been segregated everything. Can you all see that? It is not I have written. It has come through AI summary of the Zoom. That's how it gets done from any of the other software. It will be if meeting software, and it will be enabled. AI feature will be enabled by that meeting software. So this is how you can leverage that. Now coming back to this attendance, I'm going to hit the another uh, you know question, that what do you feel like saying. Go ahead and just talk that what did you feel after today's session. Okay, did you feel fantastic and all things. Please try to just wrap it up, so that I will keep picking up your answer. I'll completely personally review them, and will be marking your attendance as well. Is this all right, everyone? Yep. Yes, no?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
showing
you.
up. Thank you showing up for on time. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Good night. See you
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.